that close up though. Hey YouTube, it's Storytime Sunday.
Why are you such a copycat?
Wow, it's actually kind of been a long time since I've done Storytime, which is obnoxious because like that's the kind of channel that I am. So as you guys know, Connor and I tried to film a Storytime about 2 weeks ago about this spider, and then the video file just like randomly was corrupted. Fuck you, Ghost. Speaking of, I'm sure you guys know Connor. They don't have their YouTube channel up just yet, but if you wanted to go ahead and go follow them on Twitter at ConSanityGames, that would be pretty cool and earn you some brownie points. And with that, let's just start this damn video. So this took place about 2.5 weeks ago in my bedroom. So I stood up to get something, and the second that I did, I saw this spider just like this big, just casually crawling across my floor. I'm not kidding you. This motherfucker was half the size of my hand. It looked like a wolf spider, but like really big. I have never seen a wolf spider that big in my life. So I point to it and yell, "Spider, spider, big spider," to Connor, and then I start to panic when I realize that the spider's running under my mini fridge. I don't kill spiders, and even if I did, I didn't have any shoes on, so I wasn't about to step on it with my bare feet, so I didn't have any way to smush it anyway, and I didn't have anything in my hand to catch it with, like a mug or something like that, so instead, I just had to watch it just like run under my mini fridge while I'm just busy freaking out. Now, I have a friend named Remy who streams on Twitch most nights, insert her handle here, and I'd had her stream on when this happened, so once it ran under the mini fridge, I like ran back to my bed and typed in all caps in the chat box, "Big spider hiding under my fridge, help!" Everyone in chat, including Remy, started telling me to either kill it or catch it, no matter how many times I exasperatedly reminded them that it was under my fridge and that I couldn't very well fit a mug or a shoe under there, so I couldn't do anything. Anyway, while I'm freaking out in chat, the spider decides to come out in front of the fridge, so I look up and I see it and I'm like, oh my god! So I turn on my phone's flashlight as fast as I can and I jump down to the floor where there's a mug where I can catch the spider. I took my eyes off of the massive brown creature for just a second, and the second that I did that, like by the time I got down to the floor, it was already back under the fridge. It was like, nope, I'm out! I like shone the light like underneath the fridge and I was trying to figure out where it went, and then I saw that it was like hiding like right beside my PlayStation cord, you know, like the power cord or whatever, so like I could see it, but there was no way that I could get to it. I sat there for a good 5 minutes just staring at the spider and wondering what to do, hoping that maybe it would come back out while I was on the floor, but it didn't, and my neck was starting to hurt. But, I mean, the way I saw it, like, at least I knew where it was, so it could be worse. So I slowly got back up and I continued watching the stream, just like lifting up my phone every few seconds to like see whenever like the spider came out. It took a while, but finally the spider did like edge back out from under the fridge, and when I looked up I saw it like in between the fridge and the wall, but like just in front of that. It was just enough space to catch it with the mug. I mean, the spider was like bigger than the mug, but like I had already accepted that. Like it would, whatever, we'd figure it out. But the space that I was gonna try and catch it in was literally just enough room for the mug to get there. So I was going to be precise because I was only gonna have to, I was going to have to be precise because I was only gonna get one shot, was what I was trying to say. So this time I slowly moved to the floor, never taking my eyes off of it, and I grabbed my flashlight and the mug and just started slowly inching toward it. I like how as I'm saying this, I'm like staring at the space where it was as if like you're going to get that like, oh, I'm pretending like I'm looking at the spider when in reality all it's doing is making me remember that there was a spider right there, and that's fun. That was when Con walked into my room and they asked if I had found the spider because they saw me like on the floor just staring at something with this mug like a barbarian, and I said yes, I had found it, and then they saw the spider and I was like, I'm gonna catch it, but I'm scared. Normally catching spiders is not that big of a deal for me. I mean, yeah, I hate them, they scare me, and I would rather jump face first into a pile of bricks than willingly touch one for a second, but still, I have fast reflexes and I can normally just like catch them, throw them outside, and it's done with. But guys, I don't know how to convey just how big and intimidating this spider was. I mean, I literally could see the fur on its legs. It was big, it was brown, it was half the size of my hand. I don't know why I always do this, but it was that big. I was petrified. So I asked Connor if they would catch the spider for me. Yes, I know, I chickened out. I was like, I'll hold the flashlight and you can catch the spider and then I'll take it outside after you catch it. I just need you to put the mug down on top of it because I can't do that part right now. So they agreed, they grabbed the mug, they got in position. The spider still hadn't moved, but then neither had I, and it was probably just too terrified of its life. It was probably just too terrified for its life to try and run because it thought that maybe if it ran then we would smash it. Though, really, if you think about it, it could have just went back under the fridge. But anyway, no more giving spiders ideas. How does that I am a mess. I am a mess, mess, mess. See, if I had a sitcom, that would be my theme song. What a hot mess. Yeah. I am way off topic. Anyway, so Connor bent down just close enough to the spider and then slammed the mug down over where they thought that the spider was, but they just barely missed it. Instead, they freaked the spider the fuck out, and it jumped up in the air, spun around a couple times like a little spider ballerina, and darted under my bed. Under my bed. The worst place in the world for there to be a spider. I had a bunch of clean clothes under my bed that hadn't been put away yet, and then I, like, once it ran under my bed, had this image in my head of me, like, getting ready for school and grabbing a shirt and putting it on, and then the spider just dropping out of it, and I almost started crying. So I, holding the flashlight, looking under the bed for the spider, slowly started moving stuff away from where I saw it run, handing, like, clean clothes up onto the bed where Connor was sitting, because I was like, I'm not gonna have this thing in my head happen, because dear God, no. Until I saw something shiny. It was like a tiny gem glinting in the light, and when I looked at it, I realized that's the spider's eyeball. I don't know if you've ever looked a spider in the eyes before. I hadn't, but let me assure you, it is a harrowing experience. I said that so dramatically, but like, it was dramatic. I'm not kidding you. We were like staring each other in the eyes, and you could almost hear like the little cowboy whistle, which I'm not even gonna attempt it because I'm not that good at whistling, but that's not the point. So I am horrified, but at least glad that I know where it is. I mean, I'm not glad I'm staring at the eyeballs and not looking away, because I feel like if I look away, it's gonna run into the part that I hadn't cleaned out yet, and then horrible things would happen. But still, I know where it is. So I'm staring at this spider in the eyeballs, just like moving the rest of the stuff out of the way until I feel like I've cleared out enough of a space that we can get to it. So when I feel like it's clear enough and I don't have to worry about the spider running into my clothes now, I asked Connor to find something long and like, you know, I actually suggested my color guard flag, but apparently it's not in there, which is kind of worrisome. But anyway, so they grab a little lacy parasol that I've never used before. I bought it a while ago, and there's just no point to me even mentioning this. Anyway, so they start like tapping the wall behind where the spider is and trying to like push it forward. This was a whole ordeal, by the way. While they do that, I'm like sitting right in front of the bed, like squatted down, mug at the ready, flashlight staring at the spider, watching it move forward, and just like, I'm ready, I'm not ready, but I'm ready. It very clearly did not want to come near us. I mean, I don't blame it. We were two giant creatures who had been slamming things down near it this whole time, and I'm sure, I am positive, this spider was afraid for its life, no matter how many times I shakily told it, we're not gonna hurt you, we're just gonna put you outside, I promise, just please get in the mug, so I don't have to worry about you being here, because I just don't like spiders, just let me put you outside! That sounded like a dramatic, like, retelling of it, but that's legitimately how I was talking to the spider, which was probably terrifying in and of itself. Now, I have a little hot coffee painting that usually hangs on my wall. It's usually in my background right about here, but it fell between my bed and the wall a little while back, and I never bothered to hang it back up because I'm a lazy person. What can I say? So as we're coaxing the spider forward, trying to get it to come toward us, oh my god, don't even get me started on that part, but I noticed the painting and I'm like, it's gonna try and hide behind the painting. And of course, I was right. It did. Like, the second that it got up to it, it was like, oh cool, a hiding spot. Bloop! Connor kept tapping the wall behind it, even tapping the painting and pushing the painting forward a few times, but it didn't budge. It was not about to move from its hiding spot, which meant that we were going to have to move its hiding spot. I'm getting itchy just talking about this. So we got ready. We tried to mentally prepare ourselves. There wasn't much we could do in that department, but I was ultra prepared to just slam this mug down like nobody's business, and Connor got ready to pick up the painting. So they picked up the painting, and they didn't even have to like move it. They just like lifted it a little bit, and the spider jumped out and started running, and I just started blindly slamming the mug down because, I mean, at that point I like freaked out and didn't have time to like try and see the spider and time it well. I was just like, oh my god! I had no idea if I had caught the spider or not. So I had the mug, I shoved like a sturdy piece of paper underneath it. I think it was like an envelope or something, I don't really know. And I took it outside and I was like, there better be a spider in here. There was no spider. The mug was empty. I.e., my worst fear at the moment. Connor held the flashlight and tried to find the spider just in case it was still in here while I was outside, but to no avail. I mean, we were both so scared at this point, it was either get it out, kill it, or refuse to enter the room, maybe even the house, for at least a week. Connor said they hadn't seen the spider anywhere. The only thing that they had seen was like little brown, like straw-like things sticking out of my air vent, but they were like, it's probably just like grass or twigs. I couldn't really tell what it was anyway. So when they told me that, I looked at the vent, and yeah, sure enough, it was spider's legs. Little brown, hairy spider legs just sticking out of the vent. We both started whimpering. I mean, how were we going to catch a spider who was in an air vent when all we had was a mug and a flashlight? Moment of crisis, to be honest. Connor grabbed a pen from my floor and decided to try and poke at the spider's legs because, I mean, we didn't know what else to do, and it like jerked its legs back, and so we both screamed naturally. So then it started like poking its little legs very slowly and sinisterly out of like different little slots in the air vent and like doing this thing, and then 3 came up, and I remember all I could think and all I could say was just repeating over and over again, oh my god, we're in a horror movie. We are in a fucking horror movie. Connor then poked at it again with the pin, and it started like slowly reaching toward the pen, so we were like, oh wait, if we can get this spider to like grab onto the pin, maybe we can like get it in the mug from there. I mean, it's not gonna be fun, but like it's our only option at this point, so we're like watching it slowly reach toward the pen, when suddenly it just jumped out of the vent and started running toward me, and I screamed and slammed the mug down twice, again blindly, and just hoped for the best. In this moment, when the mug is like on the ground, I've let go of it, we're still freaking out, we don't see the spider elsewhere, we're hoping it's in the mug. I look at Connor and I say, listen, if the spider is not in this mug, I am not sleeping in this room for at least a week. So I shoved the same like sturdy paper slash envelope thing under the mug that I had before. I swear like I feel something moving on the other side, which really did not help my nerves at all. I take it outside and I flick the mug, and a little petrified spider just kind of thud, like lands with a little clacking thud on like the glass table that's outside on the front porch. Right beside where the mug had been, there was like one little like severed spider's leg, and so I asked Connor to take care of that because, I mean, I couldn't handle it at that point. So when I got back to my room, I was shaking and on the verge of tears, and I instantly told Remy's chat what happened, and the way that I was telling it and the way that Remy was reading it, it sounded very dramatic, which, I mean, to be fair, it is. So I told them that I would make it into a story time. So, hey, Remy and all the Velvet Kingdom, I guess is how I would refer to it. I was shaky for the rest of the night, though. I mean, we joked on and off about, like, spider PTSD, but legitimately, every time I heard a weird noise, or the hairs on my arms moved, or I accidentally touched something on my bed, like my armrest, or like a random piece of clothing or a pillow, I jumped out of my skin. So Remy and I were actually talking for a little while after the stream ended, and when I was laying down in bed, I had my futon, like, folded up, and a little random sports bra fell onto my ankle, and I almost screamed. I didn't, but I almost did. It's like 5 in the morning at this point, by the way, and I, like, imagine, like, my sports bra instantly being, like, this massive tarantula just, like, crawling up my leg. Also, I just said tarantula, and I meant tarantula, but I don't care enough to try and say that in another take, so... And suddenly, I couldn't lay down anymore. I literally was like more exhausted than most nights, most times, but I still didn't fall asleep until after 7 in the morning because I couldn't get the image of that spider and its beady little glinting eyes out of my head. I knew it was gonna happen. The day after, I was driving to school and I stuck my arm out of my window, and then the little shadow from one of my fingers scared the shit out of me because I thought it was a bug. And it's still happening every time I brush my hair, or sometimes whenever I like am laying under my blankets and I stretch my foot out and I touch one of my pillows, I'm like, oh god, what if there's a spider under there? So, you know, things to mention in therapy. Anyway, that's about all I got for now. Don't forget to like this video to boost my self-esteem during this traumatic time, and let me know in the comments if any of you have any traumatic or crazy bug stories. They're gonna freak me out, but I want to hear them. And again, don't forget to follow Connor on Twitter at ConSanityGames, and don't forget to follow me there too at SuchACoffeeCat, which is pretty much my handle almost everywhere. And actually, speaking of, all of my social medias are linked in the description below, including my Patreon, where you can support me monthly for certain prizes depending on things, and you can suggest prizes that you would also like me to do, and those prizes include shoutouts or making videos just for you and a bunch of other cool stuff. So yeah, just go be the coolest of all the MeowChiatos. Also, I will be designing some new merch soon with the help of Connor. I like how I gesture, but they're not here. But yeah, expect a lot of like let's get shit-faced inside jokes and makeup brushes, and obviously there's gonna be a t-shirt or two. So yeah, I will let you guys know where to go and what to do when that day comes, but just wanted to let you know that it's coming. Also, Connor and I are going to be designing a new logo soon. I've already started working on sketches for it, and also probably a new banner at some point soon, because honestly I kind of hate the one that I have right now. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions based on that, that would be cool. Anyway, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more traumatic story times and random weird shit. Thanks so much for watching, don't get eaten by spiders, and I'll see you next week. Hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey YouTube, it's Sunday. We thought you died. Fuck it, I'm dead. Little boulder. Whiplash, sorry. Subscribe. Anyway, kind of psycho mode. What? MeowChiatos? Same. Woohoo! Why does this shit happen to me?
Why are you such a copycat?
Oh, and before I forget, Connor and I are actually going to do a Halloween video fairly soon where we have a random impromptu, like, I say impromptu, but this is still planned, but that's beside the point, a pumpkin carving contest, basically. Connor will be at kind of a disadvantage since they've never carved a pumpkin before, but... But we're gonna have you guys tell us who wins in real time based on probably a Twitter poll or something like that. And either way, I'll post it on Twitter wherever we decide to do it. So be sure you look out for that. That's it. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. That was like the weirdest thing I've ever done. That was also the worst laugh.